Hi, it's Graham from Deck Transmission, and we are with Bradley Gunn Raver. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello. Yes, I'm fine. Are you
In,
good?
in bed with Bradley today.
Whoa. That's no, no. You're on a live stream.
Cool. So we're going to obviously we've kind of chatted for a long time. As I mentioned in my post earlier, we first chatted in March 2017, which is a long time ago, and that first piece of content that went out ages ago.
We actually first started chatting in February because the article went out at the start of March.
Oh yeah, of course. Actually, maybe it might have been in January because I think I met you at Tobacco Dock on the New Year, or around. I think it was Fatboy Slim. There was a Fatboy Slim beginning of the year, Tobacco Dock 2017. So possibly met you there.
Yes, that was January the 2nd.
Yes.
Because they had a New Year's Day and a Sunday, or
Yeah,
whatever the day after that.
it was second. Yeah, 2nd December, 2nd of January. Even. Sorry. Yeah, so I think I met you there, and then we chatted about it, and then chatted online, and then that interview came out, and then obviously, kind of, you've just gone crazy since then.
It's been good.
It's been good fun, I guess, by the looks of it.
Yes, it's been good.
So I guess a lot of people know your story and know everything about you now because everything is online. So I guess when we spoke, what I want to chat to you today is more about kind of building a brand and because you have built this incredible brand and this incredible, everyone knows who you are, and I wanted to kind of talk more about that and more kind of, I guess, business side of things and more build social networks and building a brand instead of going back over what we'd already talked about.
Yeah. It's good to be recognised for that.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously your socials now are huge. Your content output is must be, I don't know what it is these days, but like every day I must see at least 3 things with your name on it, and which is incredible for one person doing it. I guess are you still one person doing it on your own?
Yeah, I just do my own socials.
Nice. Cool. So let's jump in. Let's jump into it. I guess at what point did you think this was more than just going out and dancing?
As in, what point was it?
As in kind of social media? Yeah, kind of. I guess there must have been a point right at the start where it was just you going out and dancing and exploring and finding out different clubs and different, literally just going and dancing and having a bit of fun.
Yeah. So when I first started going out, it was pretty much just because I enjoyed going raving and I didn't really think about the social media side. Like, I did upload videos to my personal Facebook and sort of just upload them, but it wasn't necessarily me dancing. It was just the typical sort of novice shaky video.
Yeah.
The whole thing, and I was probably raving for about a year and a half before the social media thing even became a thing.
Yeah.
And it was actually there was a few things that kicked it off. So I think I was going abroad somewhere. I was at the airport and I bumped into one of the promoters who I was at a rave at before, and this was the first time we actually spoke face to face, and he was telling me how, oh, by the way, I don't know if you've seen, but there's a load of videos of you on Facebook with this certain hashtag. And because I was only sort of raving around in Bristol at that point, it was more of a local thing. So you would have only known about it if you're in Bristol or if you're friends of someone who uploaded it. And he said, oh, there's this hashtag going around, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I didn't actually remember the hashtag that he told me, so I couldn't actually find it. However, the thing about there's this thing going on sort of made me think, oh, well, I want to find this stuff, maybe contribute towards it. But I didn't do anything about it at that point. I was still just sort of going along. And then a month or 2 later, I was talking to this lady I met, and once we got friends on Facebook, she invited me to like her horse riding page because she did horse riding. And I looked at it and I thought, wow, she's got 1,000 people following her page because she rides horses. And then it made me think about the DJs, and I was like, well, they've got like hundreds of thousands of people following them for them playing records. And I was like, well, these two things are completely different, yet they've both got followers and whatnot. And I thought, well, I can just do it with what I'm already doing, which is just dancing, and sort of it. I don't need to be behind the decks to do it. So I was like, yeah, let's create a page. And I was thinking about names and whatnot. And I was at the end, I was like, I can't think of a special name that sounds cool, so I'm just going to put Raver on the end of my name, and I just put Bradley Gunn Raver, and I just created the page. Didn't have a logo or anything, no real idea of how to do this, no plan. I just uploaded a selfie of myself as the profile picture. Didn't really have a description, and I thought at the time when I made this page, I thought this is either going to go really well or really bad. And the way I concluded that was either, yeah, everyone's going to like it, or everyone's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Sort of.
It is going to be one of those Marmite things where it's just,
yeah. And I thought, well, if I don't do it, I will not find out if it works. But if I do it and it doesn't work, well, at least I found out. So I thought, right, I'll create the page. And I probably invited like a lot of my friends list at the time to like it on the night I created it. And by the morning, I already had 200 likes on it. And I was like, well, clearly there is some sort of interest going on. So I stuck to it, and just uploaded videos and
what
one
those,
by one.
And were you worried when you started that? Were you worried that quality, was it, like you said, it was just a profile pic? Were you worried about quality, or was it more a case of let's just start this and let's see where it goes?
Yeah. I didn't actually have very much social media experience. I didn't actually know how to run a brand or any of that. It was just like a public version of my personal Facebook, but somewhere I could upload videos for the public to see. So it was, pretty much. I didn't even have the Bradley Gunn Raver outfit then. It was just, videos. I just put up a video of me dancing at this event. And one thing I thought about was like, well, to make this work, I kind of need to actually create an audience. It can't just be the 200 friends that have liked it. It's just not going to go anywhere. And I thought, how am I going to promote it? And I thought, well, I've already sent invites to everyone to like it. I'm not gonna ask them again. Like, if they don't want to like it, they don't want to like it. And I didn't want to have loads of followers who weren't interested in it, because what's the point in that?
Yeah.
So I thought, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to upload my stuff, and if people like it, they like it. But I'm not going to force it down people's throats. But if they come up to me at an event and sort of they say, oh, what's this, what's that, then I will say what it is. So, yeah, it was, I just basically told people who already showed interest where the links were and everything. And actually, that actually got you a more engaged overall audience, actually getting people who wanted to watch it rather than just getting everyone, even if they didn't care about it.
Yeah, so, I feel like some DJs do that, where they just hammering as much stuff as possible just so that they get those numbers, and not really having any engagement or any audience, or actually they've just got followers and not really actual fans.
Well, I wasn't worried about not having 100,000 followers. I didn't want to have 100,000 followers and none of them actually.
So you wanted actual fans that really got what you were doing, and not just having 1 million followers instead.
Yeah, exactly. So having a more overall engaged audience.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as thought out as that at the start. It just developed. And then the whole outfit thing just happened. It wasn't actually part of the plan. I was just really annoyed with carrying around a bottle of water with me, because if you put it down you couldn't pick it back up because you didn't know what happened to it. So you'd have to go and buy another one. And of course, the clubs were charging £2-3 for a bottle of water, which is ridiculous because they're 85p in Tesco's or even less. And it's like, how do you, like, even just to go out and drink water is quite expensive. So you were
I've done that before.
Quite a bit of money on just staying hydrated. And so I thought, right, well, I don't want to carry around a bottle of water with me, but I want to put it down, but I don't want to have to put it down somewhere where I can't leave it. So I thought, well, it would be handy if it was just attached to me. So yeah, I looked for a hydration belt. I knew they existed because, you know,
runners have them.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought that's the perfect place to go. So I just bought one off one of those websites, and then the whole, well, if I've got that, I need this, I need that, I need that sort of thing happened. And I was like, right, if I'm going to have a hydration pack, well, I clearly need leggings, obviously. So I bought that. And I was like, well, if I've got both of those, then I need some running socks, clearly. Well, if I've got all of that, I need to, like, sort out the top half. So that's when I got the headband. Didn't have goggles at the start. I just had some sort of circular things going on. And yeah, no logo at that point. No custom T-shirt. It was just I used to wear just tops from events, and that was it. That was the suit. And then that's how the thing sort of came about, and then putting that in the videos.
Did you find more people noticed you once you had got a kind of your uniform, your outfit, and it was the same outfit all the time, and obviously it was in the videos as well?
Well, yeah, and also I did some sort of, because I kind of get a bit obsessed with psychology sometimes as well, because, like, I don't really know how people's minds work, so I try a bit harder to predict it so I don't have to work it out. And I was thinking about sort of like, why do all the big DJs always have the same haircut? Like, and I thought, well, it's for that instant recognition, isn't it?
Yes.
So you don't actually need to concentrate on trying to work out who's playing. You can see clearly, oh yes, that person. And well, I thought, well, if I'm at an event and I'm doing my social media and someone sees me and they think they recognize me, but they're not sure about it. They spend at least 2 to 3 minutes probably thinking about it, and by the time that thinking process is over, they're still going to be like, well, I've had to think about it for 2 or 3 minutes, so it's probably not. And if it is, or if it's not, I'm probably going to go over that, and I don't want the embarrassment of being like, oh yeah, you're that guy, and oh wait, oh no, sorry, I got the wrong person.
Yeah.
So, it, like, having that slow, like, recognition time decreases the buzz and the excitement.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if I always wear the same thing every single time, what you're going to do is you're going to create this instant recognition.
Brand awareness, basically.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, brand awareness, but this is more about actually cutting down the recognition time in people's minds, because then they get more excited quicker, and with excitement comes, I need to take a video, I need to go say hi, whatever.
Right. That's really clever. Right, that's really.
So you actually if you cut down the time it takes for someone to get excited, you get more emotional power out of them. It's quite funny.
That's really weird. That's really interesting. I've never thought of it that way. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So it's not about creating brand awareness, it's creating about decreased reaction time.
Yeah. So they go there. So then they go, oh, there is Bradley, because he's the same. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Phone rang. It's all right. And then, so I guess at that time you were you you were putting up were you still getting people to film you as well? Were you like, because I know when I've been with you, it's been quick, Graham, can you film me while I dance? You know, were you getting members
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
crowd to film you then? And was that
Yeah, it's just on my phone, and I just said, "Oh, do you mind for like 10, 20 seconds? Just get a little clip. Then once that's over, it's done, and then carry on dancing, and then upload it later." And that's what I've always done, really. I've uploaded it on my phone. I try my best to upload raw footage than professional edited footage.
yeah
Like generally, the videos that perform better on my page are generally more novice taken raw footage.
yeah
And, you
really
know, it feels more relatable
yeah
to the user because it's like, oh well, I could have done that. I could have filmed that. I could have. That's so. Although I do like the proper, sometimes it's really cool to get the proper professional footage. I think you shouldn't not get the tiny little raw shaky videos because it feels more down to earth sometimes, just to not come across too professional.
yeah. That's what I like. I like stories for as well, because they are more shaky and they are more, and it is just real, more authentic, and makes you more authentic.
Yeah.
I think
It's just
I think
I didn't want to come across as I didn't want to come across too I don't know, like too corporate at the start. I wanted it to be nice, and
yeah.
this is a person doing it. It's not funded by
Live Nation.
XYZ. Yeah.
um,
It's just
so then at the start, was it just you were going out once a the weekend, one video a week, every week, and just
yeah. I did one video for every single event I went to, so it was one video done. No matter how many events there were in the weekend, it would always be one per event.
right?
And then I didn't really know about uploading times either. I didn't have any of that knowledge at that time, so it was just like upload at 8 in the morning or 12. There was no logic at the start.
Right.
And then because I was interested in all of that, and then I sort of was really interested in how events were run, and so I thought, well, the only way I can understand this is to sort of run one myself. But I didn't want to run one all by myself because I knew that I didn't have the sort of expertise to do it, and I knew I didn't want to become a promoter. I didn't want to actually be running events month by month. I just wanted to see how it was done. So I approached a local promoter in Bristol, and they were called Bandjacks, and they were already my friends at the time. And I said, look, I really want to understand how an event is run. So would you be willing to basically use your platform to run it? And then I'm just part of the sort of business side and put Gunn Raver on it, and as in the host, not the lineup, and then with them, and then see how it goes. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So and that's where I thought, well, that's where I need a logo. So that's where the logo came from, because I thought you can't run an event without a logo. So I got onto Illustrator because I have all of that stuff, and then the first one was rubbish, and the second one was great. So that was the second attempt.
Right, yeah.
And then and then that's where the logo came from. That was pretty much it.
Has it evolved since, or is it just the same thing?
Same logo. Never changed the logo, unless, and if that does happen, you need to really do a big rebranding promotion. I don't want to do that.
Do you think you will at some point, or do you think it's solid with it?
No. I think the logo is a long-term thing.
Yeah.
Like, they don't see me; they see the logo.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
And
I know with our logo, ours has evolved maybe 4 times in the last 10 years.
I think it's cool to have I think it's easier to do small, tiny adjustments every now and again, but keep the overall thing that, but if you're talking about a major change, like completely different, I think that would be maybe quite a big project.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. And then, so where are we up to? Let's see. And then I guess let's just kind of like, so obviously the first things were happening, and then how has that now evolved from where you were kind of, where, you know, when did you kind of think, all right, I need to evolve my brand a bit better, I need to change my social stuff, I need to think about, like you're saying, I need to learn about what's time's the best to upload. How kind of, where did you, was that self-taught, or did people help you?
It's just been a bit of self-taught and talking and learning off people. I didn't have a flash moment where I'm like, right, yeah, I need to learn this, that, and that. It's pretty much just been as I go, oh, wait, I need to do that. How do I do that? Let's go find out. So it's been one step by one. At the time I needed to know it, I would find out.
Right.
Before I had any sort of press or anything, and it was just my socials, I was at Tobacco Doc, and there was a guy who was speaking to me, and he worked for Vice. And he didn't say like, oh, Vice want to do an article about you. He just goes, here's my email, sort of thing, if you ever want to get in touch. And I thought, well, I could email him right now asking for an article or whatever.
Yeah.
And see if they want to do something. But I thought, no, it's not the right time, because there's no story right now.
Right.
So I basically kept that email in my notepad on my phone, just sitting there, waiting for the right time. I knew there would be a time. It just wasn't yet.
Yeah.
And I think I had that email for about 6 months, just sitting there.
I do that sometimes, to be fair.
And then some guys from Bristol, Jacob and Daniel, they did the first ever documentary, and it was the first ever one. It wasn't. This was an independent sort of editing company.
I think I've watched that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought, right, well, it's all very well being uploaded to Facebook and YouTube, etc. But both of us combined together, we don't have the platform to really get out there.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is where I first emailed the guy at Vice. So as soon as the video went out, I sent him an email and I said, hi, good to meet you, like 6 months ago or whatever. I've been waiting for the right moment to email you, and I think it's now, because I knew this was a single-use email. It was one of those things which you can only do once.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't take advantage of it and start doing every week. Do this, do that, do that. I knew it was a single moment. Like, it was, yeah. And so, yeah, then he sent it to the boss man at Vice, one of them anyway, in London. And they were like, yeah, we'll feature it. So they got a telephone interview of me, and I actually did the telephone interview when I was on the way to the train. So I was walking through town just on the phone, like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then 20 minutes later, it was uploaded.
Bloody hell, that's quick. That's really quick.
Yeah. They said, oh, yeah, you might have to wait a week before you see anything. And me being unexperienced or anything, I just said, oh, am I allowed to like review it before it goes live? And they were like, no, we're the media. You've spoken to us now. We've got what we want. You're just going to have to accept what we upload.
Yeah.
And then I went into a bit of panic where I didn't actually speak to him, but I was like, oh no, I hope I haven't said anything bad, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it actually came out really well. So yeah, but that's where I first learned about the whole, nope, you've told us what you've told us sort of thing. So that's where I knew that just in future cases, to double make sure that I'm saying the right thing.
Yeah. Learning on the move. That's I do. Yeah. I do often. Yeah. I've made some mistakes before, but yeah.
And then continuing on from the question, you said, how did I learn about all the times and everything? The times is an interesting one. So my good friend Zoe, who's the social media person at LWE, I'm really good friends with her, and we often talk to each other about each other's social media. And she's a genius, so I'm just like, hey Zoe, because I've got her as she's the only person who has access to the Bradley Gunn Raver page.
Right.
As in, you can't post on it, but she can see all the stats.
Yeah.
And I said, hey Zoe, what time should I post this? And she was like, well, looking by your stats, Brad, I think you should post it at 5 p.m. on this day. And I was like, okay, yeah. So yeah, it's just been learning. Yeah, it's been a one every like gradual working it out as you go along.
Do you everything you posted, is it all been organic reach, or do you boost stuff now to get further?
I strictly do not boost my posts. There have been few cases where I do boost my posts, and if I am going to boost it, it's got to be heavily justified.
Right.
Because I do know what Facebook do. As soon as you boost your post, they take your organic reach away straight away.
Right.
Like, and you know, like, I instead of trying, like, when I upload content and it goes shit, I don't try and boost that content and make it perform better, because I know that it's not going to perform. Like, why would you try and make something do well if Facebook is telling you it's not going well? So I usually just get rid of it, rethink, should I post this? Should I change it a little bit?
You actually take it off as well?
Well, yeah, because when you post on Facebook, what it does, this is to do with pages and everything. So your entire history of posts is like a CV. Every time you post, Facebook is going to look through all of your previous posts. And if you upload a video and it goes, right, well, he's uploading a video. Okay, let's see all of his other videos he's posted. Oh, well, these videos also do well. Clearly, the audience really likes what he does. Let's give him a bit more reach.
Yeah.
But if you start posting a load of content and it starts going really bad, and it's getting really bad stats, and then you post the next bit of content, well, Facebook's more like, well, he was posting a load of content was really good, but then he's had a sudden dip. Clearly, everyone doesn't like this anymore. Let's just cut his reach. So I try to, I do sort of try and I don't boost content. I don't boost content that is not performing well.
Right.
I only boost content that I think definitely that I want to be seen in all areas. So, for example, when it's a special project. So, for example, when I've done the videos with Mixmag, when I share them, I'll boost them, just because, you know, there's a lot of effort and time gone into it, and, you know, the Mixmag guys have put a lot of effort into it, and I want to, you know, show that I appreciate it. So I put a load of money on that. And then with the track I made with Food Tech, Love, Life and Rave, of course, we got some boosted posts for that, just to make sure it was out there. But yeah, other than that, I don't boost at all. I upload content. If it does well, great. Upload more of that sort of content. If it doesn't go well, get rid of it. Learn why it didn't go well. Like, I think there needs to be more of this with social media pages, is that if your posts aren't doing well, don't get annoyed with it, accept it. And really understand why that content didn't perform. And then you can work out, well, let's not post more of that content because clearly it doesn't work. Let's work out how this content can be better delivered or better made. And because Facebook is always changing with its algorithms, it's the trends of what people like to see, how they interact with posts is always changing. So you can't always post the same stuff. It's not always going to work. You need to be a bit dynamic with it. I've never really had solid social media plans. I don't think, right, in this week we're going to post this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and this time it's Saturday. I don't have any of that. I just really post it when I feel like it, and if I don't force myself to post either. So if I was originally thinking about posting something on a Wednesday, but actually I get to Wednesday, I'm like, well, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Instead of scrambling around trying to find content, I'm like, no, let's just not post at all.
Interesting.
Just let it go. So I try not to go down the strict plan.
So you don't post every day. You just post literally when you've got something you just write.
Yeah. When I've got something, I'm going to post it. I don't really worry about if it's too frequent or not too frequent.
Yeah.
Well, I do try and leave at least a few hours between the posts if I am doing multiple posts in a day. However, I don't force myself to upload regularly or not regularly. It's just as and when it feels good. And some videos, when I get them, they get uploaded straight away. And some videos I leave them. So a good way to look at this is when I did the dancing video of Carl Cox in Miami.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was thanks to Food Tech again. He arranged that with his PR team. And when we were actually at the time filming that, my camera was not the only one. There were a few other phones as well. And I thought, as soon as I got that, it's not now about when I want to post it. I'm now in a media race.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So it's like, boom, straight up. Like,
yeah.
Just a quick trim it down, like, so you get out all the getting into position, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah. No real, like, it's just uploaded.
Are you editing just on the iPhone's simple tools, or are you? Let's.
Yeah. I just literally, once I've taken a video, just go into the gallery
and just
take a bit of the start, take a bit of the end, put it into Instagram, done.
Nice. So I was just thinking, well, let's go into tools if you're using any special tools. But I guess no, that sounds cool. It's the easy stuff. Wicked.
No, I try not to overdo it. If the content's good, the content's good.
It's a nice way to be. It's a nice way to be for sure. Do you still get any negative comments from content?
It's really interesting you said that, actually, because when I said earlier about I didn't have any sort of strict plans I've stuck to, there have been a few values that I've stuck to since the start, and I don't want to, because with the whole negative positive stuff, I really wanted to build a positive audience. I didn't want to have negative, that people posting negative stuff following my content, because it didn't really make sense. Like, well, if you don't like this, why are you even following it or whatnot? So it's probably a bit of a harsh way of doing it, but it's actually worked out pretty well. So I have like 3 tiers of like looking at comments. So the most extreme situation is when someone has clearly written something clearly insulting or negative, and I don't think that, it's if they write that on someone else's channel that they posted about me, that's fine. I can't control that, and I don't worry about that sort of thing. But if it's actually on my channel and on my Facebook and my Instagram, well, I'm basically giving them I'm giving them a platform to radiate that sort of negativity. And because my whole thing is all about positivity, I really don't, if it's on my sort of channels, then it doesn't get broadcasted. So if it's clearly negative, insulting, then what I do is I actually ban that person from my page entirely. And it doesn't block them. It doesn't stop them from seeing the content. But what it does do is it stops my content from appearing in their newsfeed without them
Right.
wanting it to.
Right.
So they're only going to see your content if they specifically go onto your page.
Right.
And why would you want to deliver your content to people who don't want to see it?
Yeah.
It's this whole thing about, building the right audience. So
Yeah.
this is actually part of the process of building that audience. You actually get to find out, and when you actually get rid of the people who don't like it, you get more of the people who do like it because you're refining. It's that sort of refining process. So yeah, it doesn't
You'll get
actually.
more, and you'll get more positive engagements, which then
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
drives more reach for you.
yeah. So Facebook call it banning, but it's not really banning. It's just stop showing my content to them, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And there are a lot of people don't do that because why would you filter your audience to a smaller level? Like, but actually, it's actually made it grow better. And then
A lot of people will see it as they want any engagement. Doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, because they realise that they think that Facebook's going to reward them with reach. So if they got good or bad, it's still something, and then somebody else will jump in and comment. Maybe if someone puts a bad thing, and someone else might jump in from their audience and comment a good thing, and then it's.
But also, I really wanted to radiate the positivity.
Yeah, of course.
And when you've got 10 people commenting on your post and they're all positive, it's all going nice.
Yeah.
One person posts a negative comment, it all goes changed from there, and that's because negativity is so much easier to relate to and spread.
Yeah.
So you should really get rid of it as fast as possible if you are in control of it. If you're not, that's up to the people who own it. You just don't worry about it. So, for example, when I had content go on Lab Bible, I just had to totally accept the fact that this was expected and pretty much expect 60% of the comments to be totally extreme, just because that's the nature of the content. So for that sort of thing, I had a different mindset to it. However, if it's on my page, it's different.
Yeah.
And then if it's a comment that's, I'm not sure if it's negative, but it could be, but I'm not sure. What I'll do is I will hide that comment. So it doesn't delete it, but it limits the audience from public to just that person and their friends.
Right.
And then you can monitor the replies to that comment.
Right. Nice.
And then if it turns out positive, you can reshare it.
Yeah.
Or if it's not negative, you can reshare it. But if it's negative, then same process. So yeah, it's just
interesting.
Refining.
Interesting. That's really interesting. I never thought about that. That's really cool. I'm letting that soak in, man. That's really cool. I never thought about that before. That's really cool. Thank you. What platforms are you focusing at the moment? I know you're big Facebook, Instagram, but I noticed your moved to LinkedIn a little bit.
Yeah, so Facebook and Instagram are my main things. I've never really got on with Twitter. Not sure why. It just hasn't really worked for me for some reason, so I don't really concentrate on it. I've even put in the bio of it, by the way, guys, this isn't regular content. Go to Facebook or Instagram for that. LinkedIn, I use that sometimes to connect to more industry people, but so I don't really post all of my content on there. That's a bit more tailored. And less often. But yeah. So I've recently started the LinkedIn thing, but it's more of it's their sort of thing. Like
it's more of business connections.
Yeah, kind of, and yeah, sort of.
And have you things like YouTube? Have you ever thought about moving stuff to there?
I have got a channel on there, and I've got a few videos on there. However, I found that YouTube it really only works for you if you've already got all the subscribers on there. And when your channel has literally got 100 subscribers or anything, it's actually, you don't get that traffic. It's like it doesn't show it to new people. It's not like
it does. Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah, you just have to have longer form video on there.
Right. Okay.
And longer content on there.
However, what I found with it is it's much better at appearing in Google results.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So,
search engine. And also with YouTube, you you still get traffic 2-3 years later because people are searching for different. It's because it's a search engine, so you have to treat it differently.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know then. Not to upload the same videos on Facebook, just the
Yeah,
more high-profile, longer ones.
yeah. Or maybe just do something different, just a different thing for the behind the scenes or something that's maybe different for different style of video for there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
and um, I guess we're nearly there. Look, the only thing I was going to ask is kind of if you were a DJ, what would be your route for? Oh, you're internet. What would be your route for growth on social media?
If I was a DJ,
Yep.
you know what? That question is so hard to answer because I'm not a DJ. um,
Cool.
all I see is what people are posting as
Yep.
DJs. I've never actually thought. I've like all of my content is tailored to what I do,
Yep.
and all the different Facebook pages they work differently. So I could post a video, but you could also post the same video, and it might work better on one of our pages than the other. So the DJ pages, a lot more of the content of them behind the decks sort of thing with the crowd going, that sort of content works really well on their pages. But for my page, that content just doesn't work very well. And it's not because the videos are good, it's just because the nature of the page and how the audience engages that page, it does vary. So when I would say how would I do it if I was a DJ, I'd really have to go and actually get myself into that headspace of, yeah, I would need to be a DJ to.
What videos work best for you? Are you the ones in the crowd or the ones?
Yeah, but the ones that with me in the crowd work better. I try not to get videos backstage, because I don't want it to come across as I'm just a cool backstage person.
Yeah, you lose that. I guess you're losing that real. When you're in the crowd, you're relatable.
It needs to be relatable
Yeah,
for people to relate to it.
yeah,
And if you remove yourself from that relatable zone, then it becomes not that anymore, and you're no longer part of the whole people sort of thing.
yeah. Interesting.
You're like, oh yes, I'm now part of the other world, which you
Yeah,
guys can't come in. So, but I still want you to like my content.
yeah,
I think it's really important to keep that relationship with your crowd going. Of course, with the DJ side of things, being backstage, well, you need to post that content because that's what you do. But for me, this is why the different pages work differently.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's really understanding not just what content you should upload, but what is relevant and relatable to your audience.
And do you use live much?
Not really. I used to. When we did really long videos, where we did sort of me dancing around and a DJ playing next to me, sort of the funny Monday evening rave sessions stuff. But for me, if I'm going to do a live video, it needs to be at least half an hour long.
Yeah.
Because it takes time to people to get into a live video. But also, why would you post a live video and it only be 4 minutes long?
Yeah. There's no point.
You could just upload a video.
Yeah.
I think a live video, it needs to have some real length to it. And so the sort of live streaming, the thing with me dancing at the DJ was a perfect scenario because, yeah, it's just live.
Yeah, of course.
It's like for an hour, so it actually gives people a chance to come in, go out, and actually, because people when they watch live videos, they don't actually sit there for an hour watching it. You might have one or two people who do, but actually, people will go on it. They'll be on there for probably about 30 seconds, a minute, maybe 2 minutes, and then they go, and then the next person comes in. So it might always say, "Wow, you've got 1.2k people watching your video." Actually, the numbers are just going up and down really fast.
Yeah. And then I guess let's just finish on what are your 3 biggest tips for growing your social media?
3 biggest tips. Well, if you're posting the content, like as in your content, just get a theme going that is easily recognizable and relatable, because then if someone else shares that video, then it's instantly, that's Bradley Gunn Raver, whoever it is. So that theme sort of thing. Try not to get too into the whole social media plan. Don't try and upload content if you don't have anything to upload.
Yeah.
Like when you do have the content, go for it. But if there's nothing to post, don't force yourself, because you're not actually going to start upload quality content if you're trying to literally just find stuff out of a grave.
Yeah.
And the second thing would be, if anyone else wants to put up videos of your content or do something with you, really, 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 really push for having the tags and the credits.
Yeah.
So like say, yeah, that's fine to do that, as long as you say tag my username in the caption, because those tags are really important, and it doesn't matter how big or small the page is, it needs to be the same across the board.
Yeah.
Because you might look at a small page and be, oh, they've only got 500 followers, that won't go anywhere. But actually, sometimes those videos go crazy. So you should always have the same. Everyone must do this.
Yeah.
They're going to do this. And the third, I'm not sure about the third. Just see how it goes. And
test and learn.
yeah.
Where do you take your brand next?
This is a difficult situation.
What is your plan for 2019? Where is it going to be? Trying to get to more countries? Is it trying to
2019 is actually going to be a bit of a weird year, and it's because I'm not entirely sure about what I'm not actually thinking about. I don't always think about, I must do this next.
Right.
A lot of it has just been opportunity comes. Yes, let's do it. So it was really funny, because when the International Music Summit thing, it was back in January 2018. It's like nearly a year ago now.
Yeah.
One of the guys who runs it, so Pete Tongs, other person, his sort of co-founder of the IMS, Ben Turner, he just sent me an Instagram message saying, "Oh, would you like to come and speak at IMS?" And I sort of did a Google thing, because like I wasn't that in tune with the whole industry, and I was like, "Wow, it's the International Music Summit. Of course, I want to do that." So I just said yes straight away. Like, that is so cool. Like, just speaking at a professional event, being a raver. I was just like mind blown.
Because, I remember when we were hanging out by the pool, and it was like everyone's just having meetings, and you were kind of just dancing by there, just getting to dancing to the music playing, and everyone's just like stood around, really being businessy, and you were just having it was incredible, man. It was really.
Yeah, well, like that's the best way to do business, isn't it? Just have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
See where it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't have a plan or structure? You just kind of. How far in advance are you looking at events? Let's look at that far.
Okay, so the event side of things. There's a few things. So sometimes, I mean, less often than I used to, because with the nature of things developing and changing over time, I would actually scout Facebook for events, like what's coming up, sort of thing. And I'll basically choose like that. Whereas nowadays, a lot more promoters are actually getting in touch. And as well as from 2017, there was a few sort of, oh yeah, come abroad to this thing sort of thing.
Yeah.
There was a few of that, but 2018 was really heavy with it. It sort of just went end of 2017, sort of going abroad a little bit, and then 2018 was like, and then I think pretty much every single month this year up until last month, I've been on 1 or 2 flights a month.
Nice.
So it's a bit. It was a bit weird because I wasn't used to doing that, and so the nature of it has changed because I was used to sort of looking through Facebook, researching what events are coming up, but now my emails are just like, it's populating my calendar for me.
Right.
You get this email coming through, oh yeah, we've got this event on this date, are you free? Yeah, I am. Okay, yeah, let's do it, sort of thing. And actually the events are quite good as well, so just go along and
have you had to start thinking about like protecting your brand against just people sharing rubbish content, people sharing the wrong images of you, or like you're saying with that Carl Cox thing, and there was 3 or 4 videos. If one of them had been not as good, do you get people to take those down?
I'm not really worried about if the content's not good and I didn't upload it. If I didn't upload it, I don't need to worry about the reach or how it's performing because it's not going to affect my page.
Yeah.
Like someone uploads some rubbish content, well, doesn't affect me because my page stays the same. I'm not really worried about how the content isn't that good. Like, it's fine. Actually, it can actually be very beneficial actually to people just posting just random footage. Because it generates conversation. Another thing is, well, when people get selfies with you, to even have them coming up to you and asking for selfies is one thing because it just shows that they think you're doing a good thing. But at the same time, what you've got to remember is a lot of the people around my age, they've all got 1,000 to 2,000 friends each on Facebook.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So when someone comes up to you and says, oh yeah, can I have a photo? Can I have a photo? You're like, yeah, sure. And then, sometimes they feel like some of them, it's a bit weird to say this because it's me saying it, but I shouldn't be saying it. But sometimes they do. Some people do say, I can't believe you got a photo. I said, well, you're also helping me out here because you're uploading this to your 2,000 friends on Facebook. So it's beneficial to me as it is for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, if don't stop people from uploading stuff.
Yeah.
If they want to upload something, let them do it.
Yeah.
As when you say protecting the brand thing, now there are a few things about the whole brand Gunn Raver thing that I need to be very careful about. So, for example, I've clearly sort of stated since the very start that I do this sober.
Yeah.
And I do. But you've got to really watch out for when people are trying to catch you out. So, for example, a typical example is when someone comes up to you and says, oh, yeah, do you want some Haribo or some sweets or whatever? And although that person at the time might be completely innocent in that they are literally just offering you to have some of their whatever, what you've got to realize is although at the time in the event you might think you have no haters around you, you've always got them around you.
Yeah, jealous.
They're just waiting for that point to jump in, get the picture, boom, Instagram. And what you've got to think about, this is really think about, is if someone was to take a picture of me doing whatever it is right now, how could this be translated into anything else on Instagram. So if you've got a picture of you putting chewing gum in your mouth, someone takes a picture of that moment, that's you gone. Because there's no way that you can prove that it's chewing gum once it's online. So all of that thing I'm very careful about. No small objects. When I drink my water, it's clearly like it's
your bottle.
It's not going to be in a glass or anything like that. So yeah, it's more just not putting yourself in a position where it could go totally bad. Because although I'm having a very good time with social media right now and it's all going well, you've got to remember all those cases where people have had a not so good experience, and it's especially with members, not only the music industry, but no matter what it was, especially with the people with millions of followers, they've said something or they've done something, or maybe they haven't even done something or said something, someone's just uploaded a picture and it looks a bit dodgy. You've got the whole community of people who love them and everything just go absolutely crazy into like death threats and really negative, stuff which you wouldn't actually say to someone in real life, but because you're behind a keyboard, there is that removed social code that you probably shouldn't think about what someone's feelings are. So people are a lot less scared to be a bit more harsh on the internet, and because of that, if you do get into a situation where it does go pear-shaped, it will, unless you're at a really, really strong mental place, it's really hard to deal with that. So like basically I've got in my mind constantly, if this was to end right now at this point, how would I deal with it? Because you should never assume that it's all going to go very well forever. You could, like, at any point it could just
massively. I've been through it myself loads of times. It went well for a while, and then it went awful for a while, and I was like, right, how am I going to get out of this? And then it sort of, just by sheer hard work, I got out of it. But yeah, things are better now, obviously. But yeah, it was really dark for a while, and it was, how am I going to get out of this situation?
Yeah. So, just because you're having a good time with social media, don't think that don't assume that it's never going to happen, sort of thing. Just basically have an exit plan ready. For that moment where it does.
Well, let's talk data. Big data. You must have lots of it. Do you use tools to monitor your stats for Facebook, or are you just using insights?
Do you know what? I don't actually even look at the insights that much. Sometimes I check it just to look at some cool stats. When you say data, though, I was using my Facebook bots at one point. Where I sort of set up that thing, ManyChat. And that wasn't to sort of replace me talking to people. It was more to answer the more typical expected questions that might come across, and you could answer them there and then without having to be there. So, are you going to this event? Are you going to be here? What's your next event? All those sort of
that's what I use it for a little bit as well.
Answer. So I was doing a bit of data recording for that, and I did actually have a GDPR statement in there as well. So nice. I wasn't. I did have an opt-in, opt-out feature. So yeah, you can't find me for that. And that data's gone now anyway, because although it was really cool, and when people were interacting with the bot, it would sort of like, if you said this, like if you asked to see one of my reviews, like one of my event reviews, it would then put a tag next to your data that I held about you saying, he asked for this. And it would trigger basically a thing which goes, right, wait 5 minutes after they've read it, because we need to give them some reading time. We don't want to spam them straight away after they've read from the article, like bam, 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 bam. So I was like, no, let them read it, let them get bored of it, and then we'll come back. So And then 5 minutes later, after they've opened the article, I'd be like, oh yeah, did you enjoy that article? Would you like to hear from me every single month when the new one comes out? And if they said no or ignored it, I would assume it was a no. So if there was no response, it's a no. If it's a no, it's a no. But if they've said yes, then they would be then put into another list.
Yeah.
That a new message would get sent out every single month. Anyway, so that's the whole sort of where I was recording data. However, because it got quite complex and I started doing all coding around it and everything, and I had sort of I had a few, not 800 lines of code lying around. And it got to a point where I thought, right, is this worth maintaining for the amount of people that are interacting with it?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm getting about 3 to 4 people interacting with it every day or so.
Yeah.
I can just respond to them myself. I don't need to maintain this code and pay for all the hosting and everything. It's just not, like, I didn't get rid of it. It's like the code is still there.
Yeah.
The data's gone, but the code is still there. So if at any point it all just went, I could just switch it back on. But I think, although Facebook bots are good and they can help the business side out, people aren't stupid. They know when they're being talked to by a bot.
Yeah.
And when you remove that human connection, it feels a bit more robotic and like, oh yeah, he doesn't want to speak to me. He wants me to speak to his bot. So like sometimes you've got to be like, is it appropriate to be talking as a bot or actually me?
Have you not? Did you like? Would you not use it for delivering big news? Like when your single went out, would you not have used had an audience that in those bots to go, right? Here's my new single. This is our single. Go and listen to it. Those kind of big announcements. Would you not use a bot?
Well, this also comes back to GDPR as well. Although people are in your sort of list of stuff, they might have only subscribed to a few things. And if this thing is out of that scope, well, you're entering a dodgy area again. And plus, you've got to be really careful when sort of, I say spamming because it technically is, but, in a more civilized way, just sending messages out.
I know it's just. I know it's completely spamming. It really is. Basic live spamming. That's I
try. Oh yeah. That's another thing. With the tips for social media, is I don't know if it happens as much these days because it seems to have not happening to me so much, but it was going on for a good few years and it was really heavy. When people put out events or whatever it was, just new content, they would tag 100 people in the post, and everyone would get notified about it. And the content is cool, but the notification is not. And like when my phone goes off, I think, oh yeah, like something's happened. Oh wait, no, it's just someone who's posted a picture. Okay, like not important. Swipe off the screen.
Yeah, do you know? When people were doing that to me, I would actually report them for spamming.
Well, I didn't go that far. However,
I went hardcore with it. I went like, no, you're getting reported.
Well, what I found is that I was sort of like looking at how my mind processed this, because I didn't just I thought, right, let's think about this. How am I interacting with this content? And I thought, right, when I get tagged in a post with 100 other people, I feel less inclined to look at it because it feels more like spam. And so actually, I'm less likely to even engage with the content in the first place. Whereas if I just see that content in my newsfeed and no one else has liked it yet, oh, wow, I'm the first to see it. Like, I would have clicked like before anyone else. So I can sort of show my support first, sort of thing. And I thought, well, if I'm thinking like that, maybe other people are too. And so actually I set up a few sort of core values which I would never breach. So I never ever spam tag my posts. If I do tag people in my posts, which are quite rare, they've actually, there's got to be a reason why they're tagged. Like,
Yeah.
are they actually part of the content? Yes. Okay, good.
Yeah.
If they're not part of the content, do they need to hear about it? So, like, is it worth a notification?
Yeah.
And I think these notifications need to be taken quite seriously, because instead of waiting for people to see it, you're going direct spam, boom, sort of the notification sound and everything. And, you know, people can get really excited by notifications. However, if they see that notification, which they've seen before, which they're getting bored of, then you're actually going to damage it further by actually decreasing engagement.
Yeah.
Whereas if you keep the notifications relevant, not too often, but relevant enough to keep the excitement up, and to keep that trust of, like, if you get a notification from me, you know it's worth you seeing this.
Yeah.
It's not another spam.
Yeah.
And then your sort of social media relationship will be far better with those people.
Nice. That's really cool. Yeah, I never thought about that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I've got that as the Gunn Raver journey has gone on over the past year or so. I've got really, really, really obsessed with psychology and social media. I don't know why. I watched a documentary once. I watched a documentary on BBC, and it was all about phone addiction and social media addiction.
Yeah.
And I don't think the message they were trying to get across came across the right way to me. I think it went the other way. They were sort of trying to tell you shouldn't be on your phone, you shouldn't be on social media. They were literally telling you how the companies do it to your face. And this was like a gold mine. I was just like, wow, look at all this cool stuff they're showing you. Yeah, exactly. And it was like social media 101.
Brilliant.
For like people who are interested in it. And it was also danger, do not use social media to everyone else. So it was like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Like, learn why not to use it, but for people who are trying to use it, learn why you should do these things. Because it was like,
because it's I get
yeah. So they were talking about, oh, you should use the color red in these scenarios, but it wasn't said as that. It was more of, oh, the reason why you can't go to sleep is because you keep on seeing this color. And it's like, well, if people can't go to sleep because they keep on seeing this color, I should put that color in. Well, not overdoing it, because you have got to be respectful of people are humans. However, it was quite entertaining to see how much information they were basically educating people on how to do what they don't want people to do.
Yeah, if you flipped it back and reversed it, then they were giving you loads of great information.
They were actually talking about the Facebook. You know, when you're on your phone, you're scrolling through Facebook.
Yeah.
You don't have to go on to the next page. The content keeps on loading.
Yeah.
That's the infinite scroll.
Yeah.
The idea behind that, and this was a very, very simple idea, and it was and the person who did that was in the documentary, and they made it for Facebook and whatever. The idea behind that is when you get to the bottom of the page, at the bottom of the content, and you get the page numbers, where you, in your mind, you've triggered, oh, I've got to the end.
Right.
Shall I go on to the next page? Well, I don't know, I'm quite tired. Maybe I should go to bed now.
Yeah.
But if you get to the end of the page and the next content is already loaded, well, you're not at the end yet. You've got to keep on scrolling because there's more to see. So that was the whole idea behind the infinite scroll. But actually, I think they've taken some responsibility on that now, because when I was on Instagram the other day, I was scrolling through and it came up with a message saying, by the way, you've seen all the posts for the last 3 days. You don't need to keep on scrolling. Oh, wow. So I think they've come to a sort of ethical decision to
Yeah, because
make
they've implemented watch screen time as well now within certain apps. And
yeah. So I think that this is where I also sort of thought, well, there is this much cool stuff you can do, but you are actually playing with people's psychology. So I think there is definitely you need to be sensible with it and ethical about it. I mean, do all these cool marketing and crazy things, but also respect your audience and don't uh, don't take advantage when it's quite easy to. Just be respectful of it.